What's up, everyone? It's Bones here. With Duelist Nexus around the corner, we'll be seeing more cards and decks enter an already open metagame. Today, we'll be showing off how to use Revolution Synchron in 10 different ways, and I'd also like to add that there are decks that I will be doing beyond this video, so if you don't see a deck, you can probably expect a full video on it. Anyways, if you're a fan of in-depth combo tutorials and quirky out-of-the-box ideas, then you should consider joining by summoning Exodia and obliterating those thumbs up and subscribe buttons. Somewhere on the side of the screen, you'll see a picture of the deck list for practically each combo shown here, the first being Super Heavy Samurai. And this one only requires one card. We'll actually be able to search out the Revolution Synchron, as we're going to search ourselves the Waka Flocka off of the bike, and then we're going to use the Waka Flocka's effect in order to get the Big Benkai special summon itself out, as we'll then get the Big Benkai effect for the Soul Piercer, then normal summon the Soul Piercer, go into the Entertainment, as we'll be able to trigger the Soul Piercer in the graveyard as Chainlink 1. Entertainment as Chainlink 2, as you don't want to use the Waka effect so that you don't put it in scale and you can special summon it. But we'll get ourselves the Soul Peacemaker now in order to tribute off the Waka Flocka and then special summon out the Scales. The Scales can then revive the Soul Piercer. And now with 2 Earth monsters, we can go into the Ballista, or 2 Earth Machine monsters rather, and this will be able to trigger the Soul Piercer along with the Ballista, getting ourselves the box and the wagon. Then the box can get ourselves an extra search for the Coral, as this will give us a scale 8, and now we can go into the Cleafort Genius, scale the Coral, and from here we're going to Pendulum Summon 3, as this will be able to trigger our effects of the Cleafort Genius and the wagon that we summoned in attack mode. So we'll put it in defense mode now, search out the Regulus, special summon out the Regulus by activating its effect, equipping the Soul Piercer to it, then use the wagon in order to get ourselves the booster, and now we can equip the booster to the wagon, as we'll be able to special summon the booster out with its own effect, go into the X, as the X will be able to search ourselves the Revolution Synchron, and this is a new card coming out in Duelist Nexus that reads, if you would synchro summon a Power Tool Synchro monster or a level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro monster, this card in your hand can also be used as material. You can only use this effect of Revolution Synchron once per turn. If this card is in your graveyard and you control a level 7 or higher Synchro monster, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card, but it becomes level 1. You can only use this effect of Revolution Synchron once per duel. So sort of like a glow-up bulb with the effect to also link or synchro away from the hand for a power tool or a level 7 or 8 synchro dragon, which is really cool, as it's going to allow us to go into the Asia Fairy Dragon, and this is one of the many plays that it gives us, as we're going to mill off 1 in order to special summon it back out, and now we can go into our Stardust Axel, and this is one of the many things that we can make as well, but we'll special summon out the bike, go into our Baron, link away into our 3 material Appaloosa, and just off the bike we're able to get 2 Omni negations along with 3 monster negations, and keeping our Scales with some follow-up that we'll be able to get off the Regulus negation when Soul Piercer goes to the graveyard. Now for the second deck, and this is the last kind of predictable one, which is ABC, as we're going to get ourselves a search for the B, and now we can normal summon the B, as we'll be able to equip the Union Driver to it off of the hanger, then use the effect of the driver in order to get ourselves the C, use the C's effect in order to special summon itself, as we'll now go into the Ancient Fairy Dragon with Revolution Synchron and the B, which will be able to trigger our B, getting ourselves the A, and now we can use the Ancient Fairy Dragon in order to pop our field spell and get another name, which will be the Therion Discoloseum, and from here we can activate Therion Discoloseum, we'll get ourselves the Regulus, activate the Regulus as we'll equip the B to it, giving us Omni Negation and protection for the rest of the Turas. We'll then be able to use the effect of the Ancient Fairy Dragon, special summon out the A, use the effect of the Revolution Synchron to bring that back out, go into our Crystal, giving us even more protection, as we'll then be able to special summon out the B, and now we can go into our Platinum Gadget with the B and the A, as we'll trigger the B and the A, get back the B, and search out another B, and from here we can now use the Platinum Gadget in order to special summon out one of our Bs, as we'll then go into the Masquerena with the C and the B, use the B and the C in order to get a search for an A and special summon out the B, as from here we'll then be able to make our Buster Dragon, ending our board on Regulus with Masquerena having 2 extra materials depending on what you want to do. You can go into Avermax with just these 2, you can go into Appaloosa with these 3, or you can go into an IP, into Unicorn play with the Masquerena and the Buster Drake, along with your Crystal Wing monster negation and the Buster Dragon. Now this next one is actually really cool, and it's bring-ins. The Imperm is just any card, as you really only needed to put it back into your deck, as we're going to use the field spell pitching the Rocky in order to get the Merrymaker. We can then then send the brothers. The brothers will special summon back the Rocky. We can then use the Rocky to get back the brothers, normal summon the brothers, and now we have access into Cleafor Genius. Now with our 2 graveyard effects, we can attach them to the Merrymaker, and from there we'll be able to go into our Sargus, as the Sargus will be able to search ourselves the Tally. From here we can activate the Tally, and this will net us a search along with the ability to special summon out 3, and this will also be able to get a 4th search and a 5th search via the Kit and the Genius. And you want to make the Genius Chainlink 1, because if your opponent for whatever reason would ash the Kit, it lets you pick between what you want to search with the Genius. So we'll get ourselves the Branded in High Spirits, we'll get ourselves the Branga, then go into the X. The X will allow us to search out the Revolution Synchron, as we'll then go into our Ancient Fairy Dragon. From here we can then use the effect in order to pop the field spell, getting ourselves the Discoliseum, activate the Revolution Synchron, giving us the ability to go into a Crystal Wing Dragon. From here we can activate the Branded in High Spirits, pitch the Branga, as we'll be able to get ourselves the Kit, use the effect of the Kit to special summon itself, as we're then going to go into the Appaloosa, and from here we can use the Branga effect in order to get ourselves a search for Watch, and then we can activate the Watch, as that will get us the field spell. From here we can activate the Discoliseum, use the Discoliseum to search out the Regulus, and then we can activate the Regulus, which will equip the Revolution Synchron to it, and in the end phase we can use the Sprint in order to get ourselves a search or a special summon. Do keep in mind I grabbed the Captain Sargus because usually you'll have more cards in your hand than just the 3 cards used in this combo, so you can special summon out the Sargus if you happen to have material on your Exceed Sargus. Now this next one is the Ghost Zombie deck, and this is a really cool combo in my opinion, and in my opinion after the Springens combo all these combos get pretty cool here, as we're going to be able to search ourselves the Ghost Fusion, special summon out the Assault Synchron with its effect, taking 700, we'll then go into the Immortal Dragon. We can then use the effect of the Immortal Dragon sending the Mizuki, use the Ghost Fusion, which will banish the Spiri, bringing out the Garura, and from here you have 2 options. If you banish the Immortal Dragon, it means you're going to special summon out or synchro summon out Baron. If you were to banish the Ghost Wyvern, you'd be making a synchro 8. So from here we're then going to use the Spiri in order to send ourselves the Necroworld Banshee into our Beatrice. Beatrice will then use its effect in order to send the Sharon, as we'll then be able to use the Garura along with the Sharon. And we're going to use the Sharon as Chainlink too, because with Bystials kind of back in the format, there's no point in having your Garura get interrupted in any way, even if it is just a draw 1 that your opponent may not touch. Because it could come up, it's just worth noting, as we're going to go into our Mud Dragon, then go into our Ancient Fairy Dragon, use the effect of the Revolution Synchron, get back to go into our Axel, use the Axel in order to bring back the Assault, and go into our Dispatter. We can then use the Mizuki to bring back the Necroworld Banshee. From here we can use the Dispatter to bring back the Immortal Dragon, go into our Baron, and then from here we can use the Necroworld Banshee in order to get us our Zombie World. Now the cool thing here is that we can go into our opponent's turn, and with the Beatrice you can either send something like Keldo, another Ishizu name, or you can send a Sharon, use its effect, and fuse away with the Mud Dragon in the graveyard to go into a Dragos Depelia. Now for this next one, and really the next few, I want to show full hand because I will be doing decks that require a little bit more to play with using cards like the Synchron stuff, so we're going to normal summon these scales here, use its effect in order to pitch the Cloak, then be able to send the Gloves, as we'll then special summon out the Assault Synchron with its effect. We're going to go into our Dark Dimension Soldier, as we're going to banish the Cloak with its effect for the Search of Boots, use the effect of the scales to bring it out. We're then going to use the Dark Dimension Soldier, pitching the Small World to get back the Ancient Cloak, then go into our Axel. Axel can bring back the Assault, as we'll then go into our Baron, and this is really cool because outside of something like Kalos when Tyr was at full power with Kit Kalos, Phantom Knights never truly had a way to play around Nib before fully committing into their combo, and this is just one way that you kind of can, even though a Nib post the Axel effect before Baron kind of does hurt. At least you aren't committing all the extra resources that you would have been normally. So we're going to special summon out the Boots into the Keru. From here we can send the Graph off of the Keru, as we'll be able to get the Graph effect in order to get ourselves the Seer. Here we can go into our Rusty. We'll then be able to get back the Keru with the Seer and use the effect of the Rusty, which will get us a send along with the Brigadine, and then use the Brigadine in order to special summon itself. We'll then go into the Sprite Sprint. It can then send us a Merly, as Merly will be able to fuse ourselves into a Mud Dragon, and from here we can then get ourselves the Revolution Synchron effect, which will special summon itself out as a level 1. We'll use the Gloves now and use our send because we kind of want to go into our Herald of the Arclight so that we have the Floodgate along with the Omni Negation, as we'll also be able to set the Fogblade and end on that. Before this next one, we have Infernity, and if you've noticed, Revolution Synchron likes to dump itself from the hand, so that's really cool. We're now going to go into our Ancient Fairy Dragon, and that's another thing that you can do, which is special summon out your Archfiend with the Ancient Fairy Dragon that you make off of using Revolution Synchron to pitch itself, then get another special summon. But we're going to use the Archfiend now in order to search ourselves the Necromancer, and now use the Revolution Synchron to special summon itself back, go into our Crystal Wing, protecting our place from here, with the Stygian Street Patrol in order to special summon out the Necromancer, go into our Dark or any other link to it, doesn't matter. You can even go into IP if you would like to, but going to get back our Archfiend off of the Necromancer, then use the effect of the Archfiend in order to get a search for the launcher, then go into our Apo, use the launcher in order to bring back 2 names, and from here we'll be able to get back the Necromancer along with the Archfiend, as we'll get the Archfiend search effect. From here we'll be able to get ourselves the Infernity Patriarch, as we'll special summon it out so that we can go into our number 60, its effect in order to bring back the Archfiend, netting us yet another search. From here we're going to get the Necromancer, we'll activate the Void Apocalypse, as from here we'll then be able to pitch the Necromancer, send ourselves another copy of Stygian Street Patrol, which is really important as you'll see momentarily. We're going to go into our Cerberus so that we can bring back our Archfiend with the Necromancer, use the Archfiend in order to get ourselves the Mirage. From here we're going to go into our IP Masquerena, use the Stygian Street Patrol in order to special summon out the Mirage, use the Mirage in order to bring back the Necromancer and the Archfiend. Now we can use the Archfiend's effect in order to get ourselves an Infernity Break. From here we'll then go into the Trigate Wizard, the Infernity Break, as we'll use the Necromancer now in order to get back our Archfiend, use the Archfiend to get another Infernity Break. From here we can go into our Nightmare Phoenix, set the Infernity Break, we'll end on that. We have Spirals, and this is kind of another crazy one. The Assault Synchron in this particular hand can really be any monster that you can bring out as long as it's level 4 or lower. We're going to use the Quick Fix as we normal summon it. Do keep in mind, normally you would get drones here so that you can get knowledge off of your opponent's top deck. Because we have the Machine Dupe and I just want to go full combo in this particular replay, I'm going to go with the Quick Fix. So we're going to activate the Machine Dupe, out the 2 copies of Quick Fix, as we'll then be able to get 2 more searches. Here we'll be able to add ourselves the drones along with the Utility Wire, as we'll then be able to go into our Link Karibo, link away into Double Helix, the effect of Quick Fix pitching the drones. From here we can use the effect of Quick Fix in order to get another copy of drones, activate the Big Red to get back the drones, then use the drones so that we can get the knowledge from our opponent. From here we'll use the Double Helix, now getting ourselves the Sleeper, and then from here we'll also be able to bring out the Super Agent, or we'll be able to go into our Trigate Wizard, out the Super Agent from our hand in order to special summon it, and then we can bring back the Quick Fix, so net us a search. And from here we can get ourselves another copy of drones into our Helix again, as we'll then go into our Ancient Fairy Dragon. You could technically use the Ancient Fairy Dragon to pop the Spiral Resort for a Disc Coliseum if you would like to. Because we're not going to have the zones for that, we're not going to do that, as we're going to special summon out the Assault Synchron with the Ancient Fairy Dragon, go into our Crystal Wing. From here we can bring back the Quick Fix, use its effect in order to get ourselves a search for a Last Resort, go into our Nightmare Phoenix, and bring out the Spiral Sleeper. We will equip the Last Resort to it, set the Utility Wire. At the cost of all 3 of our Quick Fix, we're able to make a pretty sizable board here. For this next one, we have a 3-card combo with Crystal Beast, and this one is also really cool, as we're able to normal summon our Unicorn, get ourselves the Rainbow Dragon, as we'll then be able to go into our Power Tool. Power Tool is able to get you 3 copies, or reveal 3 copies of Golden Roll, so that you can guaranteed add 1 Golden Roll as long as you don't draw one. We're going to send the top card of our deck to get our Revolution Synchron back, go into our Crystal Wing, protect our place from here. I'll be able to bring out the Turtle, get a Rainbow Dragon, activate the Golden Rule, bring out the Carbuncle along with the 2 Pegasus that we in the Spell and Trap Zone. The Carbuncle will special summon them, and we can use the 2 Pegasus effects in order to get ourselves 2 extra names, as we're going to get the Tiger and the Mammoth. From here we can go into the Keru, use the effect of Keru in order to send ourselves the Cat, as from here we'll then be able to go into our number 60, then use the number 60 effect, which will bring back a Pegasus, and from here we can use the Pegasus effect in order to get ourselves the Cobalt. We'll go into our Cross Sheep as we're going to special summon out our Rainbow Dragon now, go into our Over Dragon, use the effect of Cross Sheep to bring back the Carbuncle, use the effect of Carbuncle, bring out the Cobalt, as we'll then be able to go into a 4 material Appaloosa. The Crystal Dragon, I forget the name of this thing, the other level 12, we'll end up on that. We have Invoked, and this is another cool one because it just does a lot more than you think normal summon Alistair would do. So we're going to normal summon Alistair and then get its effect for the invocation. From here we can use the Revolution Synchron along with the Alistair to make the Ancient Fairy Dragon, pop the Meltdown as we'll be able to get ourselves the Disc Coliseum, use the effect of the Revolution Synchron to bring itself out, go into our Crystal Wing, activate the invocation in order to go into our Mechaba. From here we can then use the invocation in order to get back our Alistair, giving us that discard, and then activate the Disc Coliseum, which will allow us to get the Regulus, and then special summon it out by using its effect and equipping the Revolution Synchron to it, giving us monster negations along with an Omni Negate off of just normal summon Alistair with Revolution Synchron. For the final combo here, and this one won't have a deck list, and it's just because it requires Revolution Synchron plus any adventure deck. I think what you can do here is actually kind of nuts, as you're able to bring out the token, get yourself the Fateful, summon out the Revolution Synchron as we're going to trigger the Fateful, get ourselves the Draco back so that we can have the discard for when we search the Griffin, activate the Fateful getting the Griffin, then you can or don't have to use the Draco back, depends on the turn and depends on what is on your opponent's board if they have anything. But we're going to then go into our Baron, and then we can use the Revolution Synchron to special summon itself out, as now we have 2 Earths on board that happen to be level 4 and 1, with one being a tuner to allow us to go into the Naturia Beast, getting out our end board. So for everyone who made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching, and for the 500 plus subs, I truly appreciate your support. We've monetized the channel, giving us access to supers and channel memberships, which means more awesome stuff is on the horizon. To get a channel membership, just click on the description below, and there will be a link that takes you there. You'll also notice a free Discord link that I made for us too. If you want to support me as a content creator, even if you can't donate supers or get a channel membership, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons help a lot too. For those wondering, I do plan on making updates to the channel as the support on the channel grows, but for now, that's all I have. Anyways, it's Bones, signing out.